So for young people who has a disability, one of the biggest concern, young people are being put into nursing homes, so elderly nursing homes. So if they're trying to go like your daughter, you put her in a nursing home, and all your friends are people in their 70s, 80s. You basically don't have the opportunity to mix with other young people, and so that isolates you from everything. From social interactions to even education. We learn a lot from our friends, but for those young people, that doesn't happen. So that's one of the biggest issues for a lot of young people who has a disability. And secondly, for younger carers, they're probably a group of people who are invisible to many people, because many of them care at home for their parents or their grandparents or their siblings, and they do a lot of work at home, but at the same time the schools might not know, and so they might start failing in their subjects. They're not going to school, and people don't necessarily know why, because they grow up with this responsibility. To them is actually normal. It's almost like a mum, you know. You're born into a family. This is what you do from a very young age, and you don't necessarily see yourself as a carer. You just think, well, this is my mum. I need to care for her, and so not having the ability to identify those people makes it very hard, because, as I said, you know, they start failing in school. People don't know that they're really struggling. And one of the things that I started doing as part of my work was to look at young carers from ethnic communities, and we did research in that area. And what we found out was that we actually really don't know much about them, because just looking at the young carers, and even within Carers Victoria, there's a group of young carers that they support with homework groups, where they actually go there and get some help with the homework. But even within that group, there are not many people from ethnic backgrounds, but we know that a lot of young people from ethnic backgrounds actually do care for their family members. And so that's actually one of the things that we're trying to do, is to find ways to actually identify them. That's actually the hardest for young carers, is identifying who they are. You should also see this as a complementary, well, the Gonski review as a complementary to this as well, because for people with disability, you get extra loading from school, because previously a lot of schools are not willing to take people with disability because they're too hard to manage or too difficult. They don't have the staff needed, they need extra support not provided. And so the Gonski, what it can do is to allow these schools to have extra bit of money so that they can have the skilled staff in order to help these people with disability. And it's great, because now you've got people with disability who have friends, and going to a mainstream school rather than being isolated into a special school. And I think it's going to be great for our... Yeah, well, for a lot of migrant community, disability is a stigma. Some families...
Is what, sorry?
It's very stigmatized. And some families actually keep their children at home. There were clients that we used to have where we were able to did a bit of outreach to those families only to find that there'd been one child who'd been at home, locked in a room, with no access to anybody. And there's this other people or friends with that family didn't even know the child existed. These are friends of the family. And for 3 years, they didn't even know this child existed because they'd been locked in the room. So there needs to be a lot more awareness as well to the migrant community about what it means for people with disability, and also that disability is not the end of the world, and that's what some migrant communities actually feel. They feel that way because they blame on themselves. You know, how come it's me? Even though, yes, that happens with other communities as well, but it's very...
At least for a small example, how that can change.
Yeah, well, in that particular case, what we actually did was we were able to talk to the family. It took a long time to slowly realise, well, firstly, that you have to identify them first. So you really have to do a lot of outreach to various communities. And then slowly we were able to talk to the family and get them to understand that just because a person with disability, they've got skills and they can contribute to society. There was another family that we helped during my time there. It was a Vietnamese community, a family. The person with disability, he was, I think, around 20 years of age. He wanted to work. He got a job at a factory, and the employer actually loves him because he's a really cheery guy and he's a very, very nice person. But the family doesn't want him to work. So it was a lot of negotiation between the family and the person with disability and the employer to get that arrangement happen. And eventually we got there. But sometimes it is about getting the family to recognise that they've got skills, they can contribute. There are employers out there who are willing to employ them. So it does sometimes take a bit of work, but it's working with the family as well as the person with disability.